Evening people, welcome back to the channel. Evening Peaky, in here already. So tonight we're back round 6 of the CHewitt Racing Mini Cooper Cup, live from Tokyo inner central inner loop. So just tarmac and concrete and steel for these lot to play with tonight. No runoff. It is going to be a tricky one to keep all the paint on the car tonight, I think. Let's see how Mr. Gibb gets on with that one. So you can see on screen the Mini Cooper Cup live from Tokyo Expressway. So as I say, we are from Central Inner Loop tonight. You can see it's just a great big squiggle on the screen there. Let's have a quick look at scores while we're kicking it off. So leading the way at the minute is Blackwell 411. He's on 164 points. P Gibb in second. He's on 160 points. Keep it up, P Gibb. Dan KBL in third, he's on 146 points. Rob Scott in fourth with 138 points. Cutler 182 in fifth, he's on 121 points. TRG Obi-Wan, he's on 116 points in sixth. D-Dot in seventh with 90 points. 1 point behind him is Luke Doherty in eighth with 89 points. 87 points for Pajonski in ninth. Chanel Drew, you're going to have to change your gamer tag. He's on 66 points in 10th. Just move to the lower half of the field. We've got Graham Reeds in 11th. He's on 64 points. RA320 Racing on 46 points for 12th. Rick to continue 13th with 39 points. Ghost Realm in 14th with 34 points. And TRG Gaz 15th with only 2 points on the board. So let's get ourselves on track. Looks like they've already started quali. 15-minute quali and then into a 15-minute race. Medium tyres only for the qualifying and race 1. And then we switch it up for race 2. A bit more strategy involved, so they can use a variation of tyres. And fuel will come into play a little bit more as well. Swanky. You like that, do you? That's what I had for the beginning of last year as well, until my PC decided to throw a wobbly on me. Right, who's in the room? Cutler, P Gibb, not many tonight actually, only 10 drivers on track. It is still in the practice mode, so if drivers do turn up late, they can still join. So we've got Cutler 182, P Gibb 92, D-Dot 90, Rob Scott 12, Pajonski, Luke Doherty 94, TRG Obi-Wan, Blackwell 411, Dan KBL 23, and Rick to continue. Why so many numbers, people? Why so many numbers? Anyway, that's the drivers so far. As I say, 15 minutes quali, that does give other drivers a chance to join this one. Right, let's turn the usual nonsense on. Let's get ourselves on track with the first man out. TRG Obi-Wan. He's not the first man out, he's right in front of him. Only on an outlap though. TRG Obi-Wan is the first man to put a hot lap in. Will be. Taking it close to those walls, as you can see, absolutely no runoff in this circuit. Let's get a bit of on board. What's he going to put in as he comes across the line there? 26.3. Just being pipped by D-Dot there. Let's go for a lap then. You can see absolutely nowhere to go if you get it wrong. Slight bit of scrapage down there for him. Section. try and keep the speed up, and those corners just come at you a little bit quick. Those last couple, got to be ready for the switch of direction. Can't catch these little minis out. So halfway round up the hill. Can drive this circuit in the wet as well on this game. It's a little bit different, shall we say. That's what it is. So this final straight then. Is he keeping it 6th through here? Little clip of the wall. Down to 5th for this one. Again, keeps good speed through there. Let's see what he puts in this time. We're down in 9th now. So let's have a little run through now. Everyone's been had a quick go. Blackwell 411 to 124.4 for pole. It's almost a second quicker than Luke Doherty on 125.3. D-Dot in 3rd, 125.4 for him. P-Gib in 4th, 125.4. Chonsky in 5th, 125.6. And KBL in 6th, 125.8. Cutler 182 is in 7th with 125.9. TRG Obi-Wan, he's just been pushed down to 9th actually. 125.9 for him, who's gone quicker. Johnson, I think it is in 6th. Maybe Rob Scott even. Yeah, it is 125.5 for Rob Scott. So Obi-Wan in 9th, then 125.9 to continue 10th, 128.3. Blackwell then, he's got a bit of a toe from corner as well through here. Chris, evening, how are you doing? So he's going to get a slight, oh, he's not going to get an advantage anymore. He was going to get a slight advantage being behind Cutler, using the toe down the straights. But then that extra speed catching him out, clapping into the wall. Does he put in? It's still, I think it would have been still pretty quick. D-Dot then goes quicker, 124.7 up into 2nd. Johnsky moves up to 3rd, 125.1. P-Gib, he's gone quicker as well, 125.2, so holds on to 4th. Doherty 5th, 125.3. More paint removal. Rob Scott's in 6th, 125.5 for Rob. Does like his chocolate, that boy. Cutler 182, still holding 7th, 25.7. And KBL still on a 125.8 for lap 2, 8th position. Obi-Wan still 9th, 125.9. Rick 2, 128.3 for 10th position. Blackwell holding on to this one then. He's only got a quarter of a second lead over D-Dot now. That's not the race, it's on the quali. So top 3 also carrying over extra weight. Same goes for race 2 as well. Top 3 drivers from race 1 carry over extra weight into race 2 and start from the back. Does make it a little bit more tricky. More paint removal from Dan KBL while he chases down Blackwell. Just going to have to deal with some glory shots of these boys for a minute. Maybe not so much glory. Gory, more like, for Blackwell just there. Gouging himself down the wall. lap time's any favour. He's still holding on to that top spot at the minute. Still got that 287 over D dot for second. Yep. That's enough glory shots, you two. In the pits though for a fresh set of boots. Johnsky holding that third, 125.1. Rob Scott sneaking up another position, 125.2. Puts P. Gibb down to fifth. Doherty sixth. TRG Obi-Wan just popping himself back in the pits. Doesn't help me out. Dan KBL still 6, 125.2, just actually going quicker there. Was in 9th a second ago. So Luke Doherty 7th on the grid, 125.3 for him, just being pushed down a spot because of Dan KBL. Also Cutler pushed down a spot as well into 8th. To continue now 9th, but that will change when Obi-Wan comes back out of the pits. So 5 minutes left of quali. Blackwell still holding it, D dot not able to close that gap yet. Outlap for him this time as well. What's he got? Oh, it is an outlap. Let's see what he's got on his outlap. So yes, only racing mediums for qualifying and race 1. And then they switch it up. 122. You'd like to keep that, I bet. Who's that parked on the side of the track? Is that you, Cutler? No. It's TRG Obi-Wan. Needs to get himself back over the timing lines to make his position stick. And KBL going quicker than 1:24.5, chucks himself into second. 0.161 back from Blackwell. Hot in his tail though in this qualifying session, chucks one up the inside. Carrying good speed. It as we were looking at Dan KBL, see what Blackwell's got. He was carrying a lot of speed through there. Down 1.5, okay. Just having a bit of fun with Dan KBL then. Coming to the end of this qualifying session, 3 minutes remaining. Johnsky now in the pits, looking to have one last shot at it. Blackwell also doing the same. Dan KBL follows him in. D dot then hot lap. This is his last one, 1:24.7, but it looks like he's 7:52, so he's gone quicker than that already. 7:03. Little clip of the wall there. And let's just see what he's got across this next timing line. Down 1.6 seconds. So it's not going to be this lap. Doherty up into 4th. 1:25.0 for Luke. Out an out lap as well, so we'll just get a chance to stick one more hot lap in. Johnsky also back out of pits, fresh set of tyres for him. Scott still on hot laps. P. Gibb pushed down to 7th. Obi-Wan back out on track, up into 8th. That's the position he was holding before, or his time that he was holding before. Possibly not the position with a couple of the drivers moving up. So Cutler 9th, 1:25.758 for him. Just Go quicker on 25.1, so chucks himself up a position into 6th. Sorry, he was 9th, now he's 6th. Apologies, Gunnar. So Obi-Wan 9th now then, and ready to continue in 10th. He's got quicker though on 26.7. Just getting these turns a little bit wrong. Dragging your car down these walls will slow you down loads. So the final minute quali, these two. I think these two still having a bit of a bumper car ride at the minute. 0.3 down. See what KBL's got. He's a little bit too far back now, I think. They're going to make it to the line. No, I don't think these two are going to make it to the line before that time ticks over. Maybe. So that's it, 15 minutes done. Blackwell taking top spot. Pole position for him. Dan KBL in 2nd. D-Dot's going to be 3rd. We have still got drivers putting in hot laps, so positions might change. Luke Doherty's still 4th. Luke, evening. Pajonski 5th. Cutler 182 and backwards in 6th. Rob Scott 7th. P-Gib 8th. TRG Obi-Wan 9th. And Rig 2 continue 10th. So 15-minute race coming up. Medium tyres only, and then as I mentioned, jump into race 2, which is a reverse grid, half an hour race, but they can use different tyres, and yeah, fuel's going to come into play a little bit. Blackwell and Dan KBL still messing about then. Blackwell's turn for the hunt. Most drivers having a little cruise. Luke Doherty's still out putting the lap times in. They won't count now though. Right, here we go. Pajonski actually getting up into 4th right at the end of qualifying. Not sure whether that'll stick or whether it should stick, but hate this track. I'm sure you've said that every week to me, P-Gib. Hate this track, hate the dark, hate this car. Blackwell 411. Well, that's not very good view, is it? Why have you given me that view? Well, that's a daft view, PlayStation. That's better-ish. So they're away. Sorry about that, people. We were on the side panel of Dan KBL's car. We were meant to be looking at Blackwell through into turn 1 then. Let's see if everyone gets through there cleanly to continue. Looks like he was a little bit slow off the line. Yes, everyone getting away cleanly so far. So Blackwell 411 then. Holds on to that top spot so far. Dan KBL already under pressure from D-Dot though. Doherty back up into that 4th position. Pajonski back into 5th. Cutler 6th. Rob Scott 7th. P-Gib 8th. TRG Obi-Wan in 9th. And Rig 2 continues still 10th. Blackwell almost 3/4 of a second up the road from Dan KBL. Dan's had a little bit of a D-dot to worry about behind. Still only on lap 1. Clip of the wall there for Blackwell. That's allowed Dan KBL to close that gap right back up on him, cleanly through the final turn as D-dot gets a little bit of a clattering from Luke Doherty as he looks to make it past him. Tried down the inside, didn't quite work. And they've got Pajonski. It's a three-way fight for third. Cutler actually coming slowly onto this fight. And Dan and Blackwell have pulled a little bit of a gap now though, 1.5 seconds from D-dot. Giving each other a nice little toe through here as well. Slowly coming back down, 1.4 seconds. Luke Doherty still piling the pressure on Pajonski for that fourth. Can try and get past him. So up the hill, he's just got the inside line. Holds it. Pajonski doesn't put it in the wall, so he carries the speed. Down this long back straight. Doherty is to, who's that? He's got Cutler next to him, he has. Cutler slinging one down the inside. I wonder what that scrape of metalwork was, as being as nobody was next to each other. Cutler chucking one down the inside, then past Luke Doherty. Oh, Luke just catching the wall there, pushed down to 6 now then for Luke. Now he's under pressure from Rob Scott, who's managed to get past. So losing positions again, Luke. Does hold the inside line through there. Rob Scott has to back off. So Luke does just hold on to 6th position. He's a little bit hot in there though, catches the wall, allows Rob Scott to close back up on him. He's going to sling one up the inside at this turn. He's got his nose up there already. Luke's got the inside line through this section though. This is just allowing Cutler and Pajonski to disappear. Clips the inside line as well, does Luke. Let's go and see what's happening with Blackwell up front. So he's still got Dan KBL hanging on to his rear end. Pulled more time over D-dot, 2.3 seconds they've got over the 3rd place driver. He's got a little bit of breathing room though, 1.4 seconds back to Pajonski. Pajonski still being pressured by Cutler for that position. Doherty in the meantime is now 1.3 seconds back, still being hounded by Rob Scott. Obi-Wan's made up a position, or P. Gibbs lost a position, one of the two. Swap positions nonetheless. P. Gibbs down in 9th now. To continue, lost a bit of time, 5.6 seconds, 5.7 in 10th. Way off. Race leaders then, Blackwell and Dan KBL, still bumper to bumper. Get ourselves on with Dan KBL as he looks to chase down Blackwell. Both keep it out of the wall there. A lot of drivers do catch that outside edge. Keeping it out of the railing there as well. As I said before, you can race this track in the wets, and as you can imagine, it's a little bit more bumpy than it is now. You can't have, well, you can and you should have side contact, impact barriers, penalties on. I've seen it before in some lobbies where people just stick their car in the wall and drive it around the wall, especially when penalties aren't on. But Dan KBL did get a good drive out of that final turn, closing up on Blackwell as they head down towards this first turn. Not able to sling one up the inside, but closes the gap nonetheless. opportunity through here. Just been on board through this section. So up through the S's, back down the hill into the tunnel section. Got to get him using that slipstream down the straights really. Oh, into the wall as well for Dan KBL. That's not going to help his battle with Blackwell 411. Gap up to half a second. Let's go and see what's happening behind. D-Dots still holding third position. Cutler's got himself up into fourth. 2.3 back from D-Dot though. Pajonski, another 1.4 back in fifth. Rob Scott's got himself and TRG Obi-Wan got themselves past Luke Doherty. Obi-Wan already putting the pressure on Rob Scott, so not sure what's happened to Luke. Possibly a little bit of a wall incident, but he has got a P. Gibb pushing him around this circuit now. Looking for a way past. Oh, Luke's into the wall again. No chance for P. Gibb to take advantage of that though. But he does get a good run out of the final turn. Slips down the inside of Luke Doherty to take 8th. Luke pushing down into 9th. What's happening, Luke? You were in 4th. And Rick 2 now 9.6 seconds back. So I think Rick 2 hates this track more than you, P. Gibb, I would say. So Blackwell not been allowed to run away with it yet. Dan KBL just gaining that time back. Half a second he's pulled back on Blackwell there. Back to positions as usual. Purple sectors from Dan KBL. A little clip of the wall from him again. D-Dot in third, still losing time. Cutler's not putting him under any threat. Pajonski's closed that. Looks like Cutler's been into the wall somewhere. Pajonski's closed that gap right back upon him. They have got Rob Scott and Obi-Wan just in the background, slowly closing up. I've got to be a tiny bit careful. Starting to pull away again from Pajonski. Scrapes the ball through there, does Pajonski. It's going to slow him down a tiny bit more. Loses a couple of tenths to Cutler. What's that done for Rob Scott and TRG Obi-Wan still battling it out behind. Closing up as fast as I thought they were. But now they have through that little section. Another clip of the wall there for Pajonski. So Blackwell now pulled a decent gap on Dan KBL, 1.8 seconds. 20 to try and defend this position under no direct threats. Losing a bit of time as well. Gap to 2 seconds. D-Dot is closing that gap. Only a second back is D-Dot. Hunt is on then. Pulling in a bit more time from Dan. Just be getting a tiny bit of slipstream off him down these straights. Clean D-Dot to try and close that gap up. And KBL very consistent. So down to 3/4 of a second. But get back to 4th, 5 seconds back to 4th place Cutler. Pajonski lost a bit more time, 1.3 seconds back. Obi-Wan gets himself past Rob Scott. Does he? Does he? Don't know. No, Rob Scott holds on to that one. Good bit of driving from Rob Scott. Held his line through the S's. Kept that 6th position. TRG's got to try it all over again. Pete Gibbs closing up on this fight though behind. He's only a second back. So I don't don't know if these two have been looking in their rearview mirrors, but there's a little red mini coming your way, boys. Doherty losing more time. He's had to come in the pits for a set of tyres. Luke does seem to wear through tyres pretty quick. He's kept himself out in front of Rick, though. So still almost 2-second lead for Blackwell. D-Dot, unfortunately. Oh, sorry, that was Dan KBL. D-Dot's kept himself in touch with Dan KBL. I saw Dan come round the corner and I didn't see D-Dot, but he was tucked round the side of the wall there. So he will be getting a damn good toe off of Dan KBL now. The gap less than half a second. Just got to take that into account when you're following these drivers down some of these straights. You forget you're just carrying that little bit of extra speed. You've got to brake a tiny little bit earlier. Otherwise that happens. Still half a second between them. Nice line on the exit there for D-Dot. Gap up to 0.7. So Dan KBL slightly quicker out of that section. D-Dot bringing it back slowly, but again he's just hit the wall. Trying a little bit too hard there, D-Dot, I think. Do what you were doing, you were closing up on him. Not crashing into the wall, that is. So Cutler still 5 seconds back. Still under no direct threat from Pajonsky, another 1.4, 1.5 back. Yeah, Luke struggles with tyres in every lobby. Yes, P. Gibb is right involved in this fight. It's a three-way battle for 6th then. Scott, P. Gibb and TRG Obi-Wan can have a good old punch up to the end of the race. 2 minutes left on the clock. P. Gibb going for a move past Rob Scott. Oh, nowhere for him to go. He's had to hit the wall. That's dropped him off the pace a tiny bit. Can he get that back before the end of the race? Let's go check up on Blackwell. Now 3.4 seconds. Dan KBL. He's managed to pull a tiny bit of a gap from D-Dot. So 1 minute 30. They will see another lap after this. Cutler closing that gap, 0.3 of a second. Pajonsky gaining another 10th on Cutler as well. Obi-Wan, Rob and P. Gibbs still at it. Doherty still holding 9th, but not enjoying this one. Say for some reason, Luke Doherty's tyres wear out a lot quicker than anyone else's. Rick 2 still at it. It's good to see, even though he's obviously not enjoying this track very much at all. So less than a minute to go. Blackwell 411 crosses the line. Start that final lap. Dan KBL, he's got it a little bit wrong. That's allowed D-Dot to close that gap back up. Last chance saloon for D-Dot then. So Cutler, just saw Pajonsky getting a little wiggle on in the background. We're only a second back. Pajonsky, you've just lost 3/10. So Rob Scott still 6th. Obi-Wan 7th. P. Gibb still 8th. Rob Scott and Obi-Wan have swapped positions again. So Rick 2 continue, crosses the line. Luke Doherty has crossed the line, but Rick 2 continues to come past to beat him. So back up front. Blackwell's easily going to take this win. Dan KBL under some pressure still from D-Dot. It's his absolute last chance saloon now for D-Dot. He's got to keep it clean. Dan KBL's got to keep it out of the walls as well. D-Dot's running wide though. Just get on board with Blackwell as he comes down to finish this race, taking the win. Comfortable race for him. Had a bit of pressure from Dan KBL in second. We held on to that as well. D-Dot takes third. That's a good race from him. Cutler takes fourth. Bajonski fifth. TRG Obi-Wan gets past Rob Scott. P. Gibb gets past Rob Scott as well. Or does he? So P. Gibb takes, TRG Obi-Wan takes sixth. P. Gibb does take seventh. Rob Scott eighth. Rick 2 and Luke have already finished ninth and 10th. Blackwell pole positions, fastest laps and victories. Alright, a little bit of a break. And then we jump into race 2, reverse grid. Top 3 have to carry some a little bit of extra weight and start from the back. Makes it a little bit more interesting. How are we all doing anyway? Last corner, what a mess. I didn't see the mess. I just saw that you'd managed to get past Rob. It's a shame. It's a shame. And you've got another half an hour of it now as well, P. Gibb, unfortunately. And it's only halfway through. This is like the halfway point after this. Still got 6 more races. Calm down. You're only in third, second. Are you third, second? I'll tell you now. Ooh, second. Jesus. Don't know why you're flapping. Yeah, I know, Luke. I know. I see it every week, mate. You're not able to borrow someone else's PlayStation and maybe their game and just see if it just weirdly works. It's got to be something like that. I mean, I know there are glitches. I mean, mine's got glitches. My replays won't work. They work if you want to start from the beginning of the race. That's where they work. Yeah, so top 3 increasing their weight. First place from race 1, so Blackwell 411 has to put 1109. That's the weight he has to carry. Second place is 1097 and third is 1085. So Dan KBL and D Dot respectively. So the top 3 from race 1 carry that extra weight. No, Rick, he really isn't sandbagging for pole. Rob Scott and Obi-Wan obviously having a good one. P. Gibb getting involved in that one at the end. Sounds like it was a little bit of a mess right at the final turn. Yeah, he is driving pretty well. But, you know, that's what happens. You always drive against better drivers. There's always better drivers out there than you. Doesn't matter. You think you're the champ, and then along comes a new champ, or a contender at least. Well, he's carrying extra weight in this one. You obviously know the track now. You've just done 15 minutes. You've done half an hour with quali and whatever practice you've put in. Get on with it. You start in front of him. Yeah, okay, he might push his way through somewhere, but get up, do it, get out front, show him what you got. Pull them points back, boy. You might be older than me, I don't know. Right, let's see how we get on in race 2. Nobody give me any kind of shout for when race 2 is going to start. You look like you're having fun, Obi-Wan. Smashing around with Rob Scott. A quick shout out to CHewitt Racing family as well. Putting their name to this one, thank you. Do appreciate it. Gives it a tiny bit more clout. Gives it a lot more clout. A tiny bit more clout. A lot more clout. It's a name. Come on, Cutler. Give me a shout when you're going to start race 2. 15:15. 20 past. What are you thinking? It's updating tables. What are you doing? Rig 2 continue, about to drop a paragraph by the looks of it. Your mic's still quiet. Is it just me being quiet? Or is it my mic compared to the cars? Might just be this circuit. It does depend a lot on what circuit it's at and how close the cameras are to the cars, etc. Luke, you're always going for a pee. I'm telling you, you need to get a commode. Stop parking it on the line as well, naughty boy. Upset. Rig 2 continues, still not finished writing. I don't know how many words PlayStation lets you type. I'm sure there's a character limit. Must have broken his keyboard. Flipping it, Rick. So not quite sure when race 2's starting. Not been given a shout as to when. No time on the screen. Usually get a bit of a shout from Cutler, giving us 5 or 10 minute break. So just a quick look at results. it's going to be reverse grid, so Luke's going to lead us away. Rick 2 second, Rob Scott third, P-Gib fourth, Obi-Wan fifth, Pachonsky sixth, Cutler seventh, D-Dot eighth, Dan KBL in ninth, and Blackwell in 10th. That is going to be grid order for race 2. Rick, stop writing. The internet's paused while it sends that. Unless he was just pressing delete all the time. Wrote it all and then went, no, better not say that. Had a bit some Dutch swear words and everything. There you go, that's the call for the race. All bladders empty, let's race. That's what I like, Cutler. Straight to the point. Right, here we go, all to track then. A few seconds we'll be into race 2. First grid, top 3 carrying that extra weight. P-Gib, go for a sneaky start. Sneaky practice start. No. Here we go then. Race 2 is upon us. Everyone's slightly lighter now. Bladder's empty, so that might benefit drivers a little bit. So the back 3 in this race, D-Dot, Dan KBL and Blackwell 411 all carry extra weight from race 1. Let's see how they get on. There's that crappy camera angle again. What are you doing to me, PlayStation? So let's see how Luke Doherty gets on. The revs are up. Can't see the lights. There they are, they're away. Start from everyone. Rob Scott, P-Gib clattering the wall already through there. Trying to hold those lines tight, not lose any positions early on. As we were, Dan KBL actually making up a position. He's got himself past D-Dot. Still at the back at the minute. D-Dot looking for a way back past Dan KBL, goes around the outside, side by side with him as they head up the hill. Gets one down the inside, around the outside there. Back up into that 8th position for D-Dot, now looking to make a move on Cutler as well. We've got Dan KBL coming back at him though. Let's go and see what's happening at the front. I don't want to sticking with this for a minute. D-Dot then, almost side by side with Cutler on the exit of that turn. Didn't quite work out, trying to chuck it back down the inside now. Cutler goes defensive. It's going to make D-Dot try and work around the outside. Not going to happen. Right. Now I'm going to see what's happening up front. So Luke Doherty, wow, 2.3 second lead already from P-Gib. He's got himself up into second. Two continues left the room, so I'm not sure what's happened to Rick. He's getting entangled with somebody somewhere. So P-Gib second, Obi-Wan third, Pachonsky fourth, Dan KBL, Rob Scott's side by side battling this one out. It's a 5-way fight for that position. 5th position. Rob, Dan, Cutler, D-Dot and Blackwell all fighting that one out. Scott just fending off this big pile of drivers. Is that D-Dot going for a move on Cutler, or is that Dan KBL? It's Dan KBL going for a move on Cutler 1.2. 6 it goes. Oh, Cutler and Dan KBL into the wall. It's kicking off here at the back. Let's just go and check what's happening. Luke losing a bit of time. 1.4 seconds the gap down to P. Gibb closing in on him then. Obi-Wan being dragged along for the ride. Pulling a bit of time over Bajonski. 1.2 seconds. Bajonski should be able to close that gap up though. Rob Scott 5th. Still fending off these drivers behind. Dan KBL's up to 6th. D. 7th. Blackwell up into 8th. Cutler now down at the back of the pack in 9th. It's not like Cutler, but Cutler can play the long game. The 4D chess for Cutler. These boys are playing checkers. We'll see. He's sticking onto the tail of Blackwell 411. These two have had some good battles all season, but different strategies being run tonight. Blackwell carrying that extra weight, Cutler not. A little bit deep there for Blackwell. That might allow Cutler to come back. He does, slips himself down the left-hand side, past Blackwell, puts him at the back of the pack again. Right, Luke Doherty. Gap down to 0.8 seconds, sorry, 0.9. TRG Obi-Wan's got himself past P. Gibb up into 2nd. P. Gibb 3rd. Bajonski has closed that gap right up. Just half a second between himself and P. Gibb. Sectors from him as well. Was that a purple lap in fact? Yeah, it was from Rob Scott. Just saw that flick over. I think Bajonski just got it, and then Rob Scott took that off. So still holding 5th, Rob. No direct threat at the minute. Can he close that gap back up on Bajonski? 2.1 back at the minute. Dan KBL another second back in 6th. D-Dot hot on his tail though. 0.4 of a second back for 7th. Cutler 8th. Blackwell 411 still hanging on there with that extra weight, but you will see his tyres wear out pretty quickly, rolling around on those racing softs as well. He does run very long on the softs, on the super softs, you'll see. He doesn't do sandbagging, Rick. He really doesn't. There's an issue somehow with his game where his tyres do wear out quicker than anyone else's. 100%. He can be on a set of mediums, people could be on super softs, and he'll still be in the pits before him. What's he on now? Look, mediums. He's under pressure. His car's not as quick as anyone else's. He's ready to quit the league because of it. Because he can't be competitive. But that's 3 cars that have just swamped him. So he's on the mediums. Let's see what Obi-Wan's on. Set of super softs, and there's as much wear on his super soft as there is on Luke's mediums. Nobody can figure it out on the soft tyres. Look, Bajonski's less wear than the super soft of Obi-Wan's, and therefore you would expect less wear on Luke Doherty's mediums, but nope. And he's quick as well, Luke. His tyres aren't wearing him out. He's a quick guy. He's under threat at the minute. He's crashing into the wall there. P. Gibb is going to slowly close that gap up on him. He's carrying a lot of speed as well. Slingshots around the left. He's going to have the inside line into this next couple of turns as well. But Luke's holding his own around the outside. Oh, didn't quite work out. He's still holding his own through here though. Rob Scott trying to get involved in this fight now as well for 5th. Luke being pummeled into another wall. Moves him down to 6th. 7th now. Dan KBL coming through. D-Dot coming through. Starting to close back up then. Dan KBL. And Rob Scott side by side. A little bit of bumping and a grinding through there. Can't really see who's where when they're so tightly packed. All come back together then. Cutler and Blackwell 411 has managed to get himself back past Cutler actually. Doherty again just hemorrhaging positions. Down into 8th now for Luke. So kicking off at the front then, TRG, Obi-Wan and Bajonski. They've pulled 1.4 from P. Gibb. Looking to close that gap back up. So super soft, soft and super soft then for the top 3. Scott up into 4th. D-Dot right behind him though. Keep ourselves on board, just tries to drop his penalty through there as D-Dot crashes into the wall. Loses a bit of time. He's got Dan KBL slowly closing up as well as they head into turn 1. Blackwell 411 holding on to that 7th position. So even with the extra weight, these 3 drivers who were 1st, 2nd and 3rd in race 1 doing pretty good. 5th, 6th and 7th at the minute. And staying in touch with the drivers without the extra weight. Close that gap back up a little bit on Rob Scott. Whether that's down to him losing his penalty, I'm not too sure. Closes the gap back up nonetheless, and here comes Dan KBL all over the rear end of D-Dot. Chucks one down the inside here. He's going to hold it into this turn. Yes, he is. Where's Blackwell 411? So he's been dropped a little bit. In the background, we've got Cutler and Luke Doherty fighting out for the final place at the minute. There's Dan KBL just in front, slowly closing up on Rob Scott. He managed to get his way past D-Dot. Anything D-Dot can do about it, carries good speed out of there. Oh, it's a shame. He's done it again. Just got involved with Dan KBL. As Dan KBL slowed down and chucked himself into the wall. Into the pits then for D-Dot and Rob Scott. TRG Obi-Wan stopping out on his super softs. 2.2 second lead he's now got over Bajonski. So on the softs for Bajonski, 1.4 back from P. Gibb. He's also out on the super softs. Dan KBL stopped out. Super softs for him, but very worn out. As for Blackwell 411 as well, he stopped out on super softs. Again, does run long on the super softs. Scott been in out on a fresh set of racing super softs. He's got 3/4 of a tank on board as well. So D-Dot back out the pits, a fresh set of softs in 7th. Cutler hot on his tail though, set of mediums for him. 8th place, only 1/4 of a second back from D-Dot, piling the pressure on. Luke Doherty out the pits, super softs on board. Already 4.5 back from Cutler. Super softs will help him out though, he should be able to close that gap back up. So does Obi-Wan come in this lap? Is he going to brave it for another one? He's in now then. Bajonski follows him. P. Gibb stops out. So P. Gibb has got an awful lot of fuel on board, as has Blackwell 411. P. Gibb's tyres looking a lot better than Blackwell's as well. Blackwell's had to force his around this track with that extra weight and battling with the drivers at the back until they've come in the pits. He's to slot himself through 2nd at the minute. Is he going to go for a one-stopper? Is that P. Gibb's plan as well? But yeah, he's got a lot better tyres on board than Blackwell at the minute. Possibly about a lap's more fuel maybe. Might work out for P. Gibb. It's going to give Blackwell a good run though. So Obi-Wan 3rd, 14 seconds back. Rob Scott hot on his tail. Still holding a little bit of penalty though, Rob Scott. we go. Luke's done. I promise you, Rick. I promise you. You watch Luke in any lobby, his tyres just get devoed. Rob Scott looking for that position back off Obi-Wan. Not working out at the minute. Yeah, just got to be so careful at this track. Want to carry all that speed into these turns, but know that. Oh, so close by Rob Scott. He clipped the wall on the way into that turn though. Again closes up. Right, let's go and have a look what's happening up front. So Pete Gibb still 3.5 second lead over Blackwell 411. Just under a quarter of a tank. Yeah, I think you've definitely got a lap's more fuel on board. Blackwell 411's tyres looking very ropey now as well. So losing time to Pete Gibb. 3.6 catching the wall there as well. TRG Obi-Wan another 10 seconds back in third, but out on those fresh super softs. Rob Scott right there with him still. Super softs on board. Still losing that penalty though. Fastest lap for Rob Scott still 1:24.3. That last lap he's just done actually. D-Dot another 5.5 seconds back in fifth. Pajonski sixth. Super soft, soft for him. You've got Dan KBL right on his tail and Cutler 182. Luke Doherty ghosting it out, giving it up. Pete Gibb pulling more time, 4.4 seconds. Blackwell really starting to struggle on those tyres by the looks of it. Still at 4.6, 4.7. Yeah, so gaining time from Blackwell, but losing time to Obi-Wan and Rob Scott. But he will be out on those fresher tyres. 5 seconds the gap now for Pete Gibb. Where are you going to come back out? To the pits this lap then. We should see 5 second lead over Blackwell in second. We should see Blackwell in the pits as well. He's absolutely out of fuel. So TRG Obi-Wan and Rob Scott come through now then. Rob Scott almost dropped that penalty. Pete Gibb just taking on board fuel. D-Dot might get this position off Pete Gibb. Yeah, should just be back. He's letting out the pits any second. Oh, still taking on board fuel these. So Pete Gibb comes back out in seventh. Full tank on board though. 13 minutes remaining. Set of brand new fresh super softs for him to play with as well. 3.4 seconds back from 6th place Cutler. 15 seconds from race lead. We'll keep an eye on that for Pete Gibb. So Obi-Wan out front, pulled 1.5 from Rob Scott now. Rob Scott has been dropping that penalty, but he's obviously just lost a bit of time to Obi-Wan. D-Dot still holding third, 7 seconds back. Dan KBL, another 1.6 back for fourth. Pajonski taking paint off his car, trying to close that gap up on Dan KBL. It's working for him. Oh. It's a little bit squiggly through that right-hander there, sorry, left-hander there. Goes for a move down the inside of Dan KBL. Side by side as they come through there, into the wall for Dan. Pajonski just carrying that extra speed then. Takes that fourth position on that soft tyre. And KBL on the super softs. Expected to be quicker, but they wear out faster. Cutler just closing up on this fight as well. Only a second back, 1.1. He's gone for the medium tyres. 12 minutes remaining. P. Gibb in 7th. Only 2.7 back from Cutler. So Rob Scott and TRG Obi-Wan have pulled big gaps then to 3rd place. Having a little race of their own. Still 2 seconds in it. Rob Scott just dropped his penalty. He's not completely lost it yet. Now he's got to think about hunting down TRG Obi-Wan again. 11.5 minutes remaining to do that. It's a shame, Luke. Cleanly through there for Rob Scott. Keeps the gap at 2 seconds. D-Dot, the gap's still at 7.7, so unable to close that up on him. He's gained from Dan KBL though. Dan KBL been fending off a Bajonski for the last lap or so. Managed to get back past him. He takes that 4th then. Bajonski 5th, only half a second back. That has allowed Cutler to close up. Did I just see yellow flags? Possibly, but that might just mean someone scraped the wall at this track. So P. Gibb closing in again on Cutler, less than 2 seconds. He's just flicked over above 2 seconds. Only 16 seconds off of race lead as well. There's a fresh set of tyres and plenty of fuel on board. Let's see what the top 2 drivers are rolling like. So running out of fuel quickly. Rob Scott in a very similar position, even worse position. A lot less fuel on board for Rob Scott. TRG Obi-Wan, he's got about 2 or 3 laps left in that. Dida's got about the same. Bajonski, he's got over a quarter of a tank on. He's managed to get himself back past Dan KBL as well. Dan's carrying about the same amount of fuel, just over a quarter of a tank. Cutler, so he's got a quarter of a tank on board. May have to stop again. P. Gibb right on his tail now, half a second. Cutler into the wall. P. Gibb closing up again. So D-Dot, Rob Scott and TRG Obi-Wan in the pits. Into 4th then for P. Gibb with that pit stop with D-Dot, Rob Scott and Obi-Wan. Let's go and see what the positions are looking like now. Bajonski holding the race lead. Dan KBL hot on his tail though for 2nd. P. Gibb, oh, P. Gibb, is he past Cutler? Up into 3rd then for P. Gibb, 4th for Cutler. Again, may just have to put in a little blim of fuel right at the end. Blackwell up into 5th, so he's got plenty of fuel on to go to the end. TRG Obi-Wan taking as much paint off that car as possible to lighten it. In 6th, all the fuel on board to go to the end, maybe a little bit too much. Rob Scott 7th, so all the fuel, and D-Dot's taking on board a full tank. No D-Dot. So P. Gibb is closing up on those 2 drivers in front, managing to make a bit of a gap between himself and Cutler. 1.2 seconds the gap there. Bajonski and Dan KBL still battling this out again. They might not just be seeing that little red Mini closing up on them, as TRG Obi-Wan and Rob Scott didn't. Dan KBL chucks himself in the pits though. That releases P. Gibb into 2nd. Cutler comes in the pits as well. Blackwell, why wouldn't it go to Blackwell? He stops out, so now 4.8 seconds back from P. Gibb. These drivers not having to stop again. Obi-Wan 4th, Rob Scott 5th, D-Dot 6th. It's going to be a Cutler or a Dan KBL. I think it's Dan KBL out in 7th. Cutler back out of the pits in 8th. So losing 2 drivers in this one. P. Gibb closing up on Pajonski as well. Pajonski's almost out of fuel. P. Gibb passed him. Carrying so much more speed there, P. Gibb. Not sure if Pajonski clipped the wall on the turn before, but up into first place for P. Gibb. Pajonski second, trying to hang on to that second position, possibly make a move back on Pajonski, but he's not going to be able to make that last. He's got to come in the pits this lap. Blackwell 411 under all sorts of pressure from TRG Obi-Wan for third. Let's get ourselves on board with this fight. Closing up on Blackwell 411. Down this start-finish straight. Blackwell holds his line on the inside. Still side by side around this turn. 6 minutes remaining. Blackwell 411, TRG Obi-Wan battling it out for podium positions. Doherty's definitely left the room now. That's for certain. Both drivers keeping it clean through there. Still only half a second between them. No threat from anyone behind. 2.1 at the minute. Rob Scott, let's just keep an eye on that, see whether he closes that gap back up. Again, TRG Obi-Wan closing up with the slipstream on Blackwell 411. He's got a long straight down here to give it a go as well. Slings one over to the left-hand side. Now gives him the line into the next couple of lefts. Not this one, but gives him the line into this one. The following turn here, back onto this start-finish straight, so regains that second position from Blackwell. Is there anything Blackwell can do about it? He's on a reasonably fresh set of super softs, but he is carrying the extra weight. This is all benefiting Rob Scott behind, little clip of the wall. It's also benefiting P. Gibb up here in top spot now, 3.4 seconds clear from TRG Obi-Wan. Blackwell just been dropped off that fight a little bit, 0.8 of a second, the gap back to third place. Rob Scott now 1.7 back, so taken 3/10 out of Blackwell. 4.5 minutes remaining. D-Doc fifth. 7.8 seconds back from Rob Scott. He's got Dan KBL 2.1 seconds back. Still got Pajonski just a second back from him. These two have been at it a fair old bit in this race. And then Cutler only 1.4 back. So only 18 seconds between all drivers tonight at the minute. Gibb, he's got it wrong somewhere. He's lost a bit of time. 2.9 seconds the gap then to the second place driver. So Obi-Wan is just driving the life out of this Mini. He has got a fresh set of super softs on. Fresh-ish set of super softs. A lot fresher than P. Gibbs. So the two-stop versus the one-stop strategy playing out here. P. Gibb one stop in. TRG Obi-Wan 2 stopping, Blackwell 1 stopping, Rob Scott 2 stopping. Can they fend off these drivers until the end of the race? 3 minutes remaining for P. Gibb. Still holding 2.2 second lead over Obi-Wan. He's still putting good lap times in his first stint with a worn out set of softs, super softs, sorry. A little bit of time over Obi-Wan. Does gain it back through that long tight turn though. Blackwell's doing a good job fending off Rob Scott, but that might come to a swift conclusion soon. You see Rob Scott get the same manoeuvre done on Blackwell that we just saw P. Gibb do. Already slings it all the way out to the left for Rob Scott and past Blackwell, so he does take that third position. Is there anything Blackwell can do that before the end of the race? P. Gibb, 2 minutes 20 remaining. 1.3 seconds the gap. Gibb do it? Can Obi-Wan close the gap and take the position? He's closing up pretty quickly. Rob Scott's pulling that gap between himself and Blackwell as well. Don't think he's going to be able to close up. Possibly. He's only 1.7 back from Obi-Wan. Lost a bit of time with that wall contact. So Blackwell just losing a bit of time to Rob. But Johnsky's come in the pits. D. fifth and having a tiny bit of a race of his own. Dan KBL 3.7 seconds back. Cutler in the background in 7th. But Johnsky, as mentioned, just come in the pits for a bit of fuel at the end of this one. So that puts him now at the back of the pack. P. Gibb still leading. Just by the skin of his teeth. I'm going to see another lap as well. Obi-Wan's got a good run down here. Can P. Gibb hold on to it? Just about kept it on the wall. I think he's just clipped a tyre on the exit. Kept it clean on the exit there as well. So it's going to be 40 seconds as they hit the line. 45 seconds. This will be last lap then. Obi-Wan going for an outside line for the cutback on P. Gibb. Can he get it done? Side by side on the exit. Up the inside. Obi-Wan slots himself through into first then. P. Gibb coming back at him through this turn. Not quite able to make it stick, but it's on now between these two to the end of the race. Rob Scott still 1.5 seconds back. Blackwell then in 4th, losing more time. D. fifth. Closing in on Blackwell, but I think it's going to be a tall order to take that position off him before the end. Dan KBL under threat from Cutler, only half a second between these two. So this might come to a bit of crunch time at the end as well. And Johnsky after that late stop, 15 seconds down now, unfortunately. He was putting the pressure on Dan KBL for a lot of that race. Obi-Wan then extends his lead. P. Gibb, nothing he can do about it. His tyres are starting to give him jip. Rob Scott has closed that gap up on him. Only a second between these two. A couple of turns to go for P. Gibb to hold on to that spot. TRG Obi-Wan though. He's had a good race again. Through this final turn, just down the hill and across the line to go. Takes first. P. Gibb does take second. Only just. Rob Scott takes third. Blackwell takes 4th. Handbrakes it into the camera. Thank you. D. fifth. Dan KBL takes 6th. Cutler unable to get that off him. 7th for Cutler. And Johnsky around this final turn. Close a bit of time up. Those fresh super softs. Takes 8th position. So there we go. Round 6 of the CHewitt Racing Mini Cooper Cup, hosted by TANSO Racing Group on Facebook. Go check them both out. What have I got coming up? Well, we're on Monday. So tomorrow night, 8:05, we've got Next Gen Racing's Lamborghini GR3 League. At 8:30 on Wednesday, we're back with MRC's Team Oliver Racing GR3 League. I forget where we're at this week. I'm sure somebody said, but I forget where we're at every week at pretty much every track. Yes, TRG Obi-Wan took it. That was close. That was close. Thursday night, 9 o'clock, we're back with the P1 boys and their Rally Cross event. That was, how should we put that? Chaotic, shall we say? It was some good racing. They've got the boost on, so everyone stays close together. But yeah, it's very difficult to see who's where when there's cars sideways, backwards, and clouds of dust and wheel spinning and stuff. So that's Thursday night, 9 o'clock. Friday night at 9 o'clock, we're back with the next 2 rounds of the GTTCC. So GR4 class cars, 2 different races, 15 minutes quali and 2 half-an-hour races. So that's Friday night, Saturday night off, and Sunday night back with TANSO Racing boys again and the MX5 Modi 5 Cup at 8 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock straight after is the BMW M3 League that you may have watched last night. So that's the lineup. I hope you've liked what you've watched. If you want to help the channel out, get yourselves over to buymeacoffee.com/dartsmoker. Drop a little donation, would be appreciated. Thank you very much. Other than that, give it a like, give it a subscribe, tell your mates, tell your mums, mostly your mums. My name's Dartsmoker. I'm out of here.